Feeling good. Don't mess
I'll do
this up.
this.
Don't mess this up with me. Don't mess this up for me. Thursday, July 16th. This is the Breaking and Entering Show. The ad news, the marketing news you need to know. We got a new segment going to debut today. Red light, green light. So it's what are you going to give the green light to? What's happening right now in marketing? What are you going to give the red light to? Something that's happening in marketing right now. My red light right now is brands overusing humanity as a differentiation. So I saw this ad right outside of our office, actually, here on Wall Street from TD Ameritrade. It says more human, TD, more human. I feel like every brand right now is going so hard on being like, we're more human than our competitors and taking the stance kind of against AI. And it's getting to a point where, for me, it's overdone.
You know what? A true test of this, if I call up your customer service and the human doesn't answer, you're not allowed to run these
I'll
ads.
call TD Ameritrade now. I'll call TD Ameritrade.
No.
No, yeah. Goodbye. Goodbye, sir. TD Ameritrade, not as human as you think. That actually was pretty good, Geno. My green light, Adidas. Adidas. Adidas is going to be your winner of the World Cup here. So Adidas now will have both teams in the final playing against each other, repping their brand. The football ball is also Adidas. And it is Spain and Argentina.
My red light is pretty niche here, pretty specific, but it's in ads, in commercials. We need to red light showing the director and then potentially having them yell, "Cut." And I have three examples of this. Within like the past year.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a great ad. But now we have another one that just came out for Patron, showing the director as well.
We do things, we do them right. No shortcuts. Just
There he is.
perfect.
Director.
Oh, you can even see it very clearly.
Oh, it's the director.
Yes. And then also here
Brace
in
yourself.
TurboTax,
The pain is coming.
the director is also featured, or they break
Breaking the fourth wall. So
Cut.
yeah, literally says cut.
I think it's fun, but I'm red lighting.
It's overdone.
And I think a good example of who did this well was Coinbase with Your Way Out. They released the spot. It was beautiful. There was no fourth wall being broken necessarily with the director. But then after the campaign launched, and it was amazing, they showed the behind the scenes.
Yeah. All right, what's your green light?
I think it's pretty obvious here, but realizing that out of home isn't just out of home anymore. There are brands that are doing a great job with this. Basically, you put an out of home out there, you're getting so much bang for your buck if it's a really good creative idea. It's going to go viral on social most likely. I think it's like that move to analog, like people like seeing something tactical, like tactile out on the streets here. Two brands that are doing this really well. First one, Polaroid. Placing the billboard, I believe this was in a New York beach, placing that in the middle of nowhere. It went crazy.
What's the name of that handle? Go back. What was at no fucks given.
The other brand here is Michelob Ultra from the championship here, the Knicks. It just has so much power if done correctly. And I think marketers understand this, but I'm reinforcing it. Good out of home will go viral on social media.
Well, the crazy thing is that Polaroid literally did put their placement up just for the viral social media post.
That's all I got. So, Jack, your red light was humanity as differentiation. Stop doing that. Your green light was Adidas. My red light was showing the director yelling, "Cut." And then my green light was realizing out of home isn't just out of home.
Good segment.
Good.
Next up, it's the 2-minute show. Biggest stories of the day, 2 minutes each topic. Everything you need to know right now that's coming out right now. Publicis is cruising, Geno. I mean, 21st consecutive quarter of growth.
Oh my gosh.
For Publicis. Isn't that wild? And they raised their outlook, meaning that they kind of had an estimate of how much growth that they would have this year. And through this year, they've exceeded that. And now they're thinking we're going to raise the expectation for the rest of the year. Also, I believe that they've raised headcount, a net increase of headcount of 2,400. And Arthur, I think his quote in the Adweek article, shout out Rebecca Stewart, shout out Adweek, was saying that they are going to be doing the polar opposite of its rivals in terms of strategy.
I love that.
Next up, AI search is leading to a 40% drop in ad supply, Geno. This is shocking, to be honest, but what do you got?
For me, it kind of makes sense. Like when you Google something nowadays, you're not clicking on a website. Like for the most part, you're Googling something to find out something. That damn Gemini AI-powered search is going to give you the answer. Of course, it's pulling from these websites, but you no longer have to click into the website.
Yep.
And if you don't click into the website, you don't see the damn ads.
This is, to me, it's shocking because the number is so high. I can't believe how quickly the consumer behaviors have actually shifted. I mean, 40% drop over the year is insane. People are discovering things in a different way, and so now there's less ad inventory because there's less there's less requests for those ads because people aren't going to websites.
And now, now the publishers need to change.
Yeah. So how
you're
do
a
they
publisher
change?
technically.
Yeah. So how the fuck do we do this?
Well, we don't really we don't have a website.
That's kind of. I feel like
It's kind of.
I don't
nice.
think you need a website. You don't really need a website anymore.
No, you focus. You think about Substack. You think about creating these subscriber-based platforms that people subscribe to your newsletter, whatever it might be. There's a paywall behind that. You do events. You focus on your own first-party data. That's kind of, you're going to see a lot more subscriptions now from these publishers.
If you're a brand, obviously it's like, how do you show up on AI search is going to be the big thing. Uber tissue truck, fun, very fun.
Very fun.
Of course, how could you not?
It's called Defeated Discounts. And you got 30% off their next Uber trip if your team was knocked out. I think you put your team in the app.
Yeah.
If your team lost, you get a discount.
Nice.
Now, some people, I saw some of the comments here, Jack. Some people were like, "This is a little rude."
Oh,
and it's a little like some. I saw like 3 comments, so I'm like, that's my note there.
That's plenty. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like the sentiment here. It's like but I think it's good.
MLS's largest campaign ever, of course, well timed here. I think their slogan is "Thank you, world." Yeah, thanks, world. We'll take it from here. This is done by Ogilvy, but of course, the MLS is trying to take advantage of some probably new audiences that are excited about football.
I've seen this on my social now. You got like people in America that are talking like, I need to find a league now.
Yeah.
I need to find a team now. Mm-hmm. They got the itch. How do you maintain the itch? Well, advertising might solve for that.
Mando and Bert Kreischer and Miramar, the ad agency on this. I feel like, we can just show it, but like,
This is absurd.
it's insane.
And we can pause it or we can mute it while this is playing here. As you walk, you see these people walk in and smell them, Jack. Who are they?
It's the Miramar employees. I don't know if they want us to give that away, but some ad agency folks playing some characters here, friends of the program at Miramar. But crazy idea, and one of those that I imagine the team is like, oh my God, they said yes to this. Well, that was a 2-minute drill. Let's get on with the show, Geno. And an exciting debut moment for the Breaking and Entering show, a new segment. It's called Breaking an Ant in the Ring. We'll have Antoni Porowski will be joining us, celebrity, author, actor, I would say friend. There's so much talk around talent strategies, celebrities, how they work with brands, and rarely do you get to get the POV of the celebrity talent themselves and like in what they think in terms of the creative and what they like working on and how they work best with agencies and brands. So the idea is that Antoni can help us with that POV. It feels like some celebrity talent needs to kind of like take more control of like how they work with brands and their relationship with marketers as well.
On one end, it's like you have these creators, these influencers who are really doing fascinating things, and we're seeing it with like Emmy nominations, with Subway hot takes and all that kind of stuff. But then at the same time, there is this massive oversaturation that we're seeing. And I think it's harder to sort of like figure out what lane I want to be in whenever I'm engaging with social media. And so it's interesting to see the stuff that's working, the stuff that's not working, the people that are just being reactive and saying yes to everything and not putting a spin on their own voice, versus talent that's like kind of allowed to do their own thing by somehow balancing whatever the needs are of the brand, let's say for like a CPG or a product or whatever, or a service or whatever it is, and their own ethos and the persona they display on social media.
We just saw something I wanted to bring up with Gap, like Gap and Hailey Bieber coming together.
So when I first found out that Zach Posen, who I know took over running everything at Gap, Old Navy, Banana Republic, I got really excited. And I was thinking like, holy shit, I really hope they bring back all those commercials that I used to watch with my sisters. Like the CD player and the way that she's looking at the screen, like all that stuff gave me like a shiver, like that nostalgic shiver of like, simpler times. All in all, I think it was brilliantly executed. I think, I forget who shot it. I think it was Sorrenti. But anyway, it was beautifully done.
And nostalgia is best used during economic downturns when people need something to hold on to and like remember the good days. So it's like we might be in some troubled times now, like with the economy. So that's like actually a pretty good play. like for right now.
I think the nostalgia factor is where you want to play to your millennials. And then in terms of like color scheme, the composition, the framing, all of the visuals and sort of like the candy pop, all that kind of stuff is where you can lean into Gen Z. And that's why I think they executed it very successfully.
Yeah.
And they're doing it with all their brands. Old Navy, I think, was always accessible because of these like crazy sales that were just accessible to, the entire American population. Gap was on like the cool nostalgia, sort of adjacent to like what CK1 was doing with the whole androgynous movement and the black and white and like the denim, like jeans and a t-shirt is the ultimate sexy and cool, status symbol. And then you have like Banana Republic, which is built on like heritage and history and travel and linen and all that kind of stuff. And it's interesting to see how they're kind of like rolling it out. Cause for me, it's like Star Wars is being rebooted and I'm like, okay, what are they going to do with it? Like, that's how I view it. So whenever I hear about a new ad, I'm like, okay, like let's buckle up.
Antoni, appreciate you taking the time this week. This is the first edition of Breaking an Ant in the Ring. Thanks for taking the time. Great big time guest here. Creator and cultural strategist Rachel Lowenstein is the best of the best when it comes to understanding what I would call like girlhood, but also just culture in general and how brands are, working to attract female audiences and relate to them. It's never been harder to keep up with the times as a brand and stay cool and socially relevant and not cringe, as the kids say. And Rachel's whole thing is figuring out how to navigate all of that.
I'm set for this.
Okay.
What's going on with social media? What are we finding? We're finding that there's AI influencers now that are selling stuff on TikTok and they've taken over.
This is wild to me, Rachel. Like I feel like people don't realize the scale of all of this.
Yeah. So I just did a video essay that I called Digital Pimps. And, for the last, it's a lock-in. For the last 6 months or so, I've been really tracking this content format that I'm largely seeing from male creators who are teaching other men how to make digital versions of women and make money off of them, which just feels like the technology version of pimping, right? Like we're seeing value in women's bodies based off of like what you can extract from it. And what's interesting / I think challenging or demoralizing about this is 75% of all creators are women and girls. And now this kind of industry that women and girls really built is now being kind of capitalized on by men who don't want to pay women money. There's an example of an AI influencer named Ayatana Lopez, and her creator verbatim said he made her so he wouldn't have to work with people who just want to make a lot of money, despite the fact that he makes a lot of money off of her every month. So I think there's this like really interesting kind of challenge happening where women and girls built an industry and now it's being kind of removed. They're being removed from the equation. And in a lot of ways, these men are building these influencers because brands are monetizing them.
Are people just being duped into thinking that these are real? Because if I'm like trying on or trying to figure out if I want to buy clothing, I would want an actual person to try it on.
Research from Sprout Social, from Northeastern University, from so many institutions that show people don't trust AI influencers. They pose reputational risks to brands. Northeastern came out with a piece of research last year that showed that. There was a fragrance company last year that released an AI influencer to promote their fragrances. And the fraghead community, which is like a very niche community online, melted down over it because it's like, AI cannot smell product. Why are we using AI influencers to sell product when there are dozens, hundreds of women, men who are very passionate about the product that you could just hire them? I do think that by and large, it's like probably the smaller brands and individual like small businesses who are leveraging them. But they exist in the ecosystem. And I think the larger brands with the bigger budgets and the brands that we collectively are talking to, they're on their radar.
Yeah. So how do you advise some of the brands that you work with when it comes to AI influencers or AI content in general on social?
I mean, with AI influencers, my point of view is pretty direct. I gave a talk with UN Women and the Unstereotype Alliance at Cannes, and my direct point of view was don't fucking use AI influencers. I think that's my pretty direct point of view. There is no value that they are adding to brands. We again see that people don't trust them, they don't like them, they pose reputational risks compared to real creators. And also why would you want to work with someone who isn't real, who, as you said, Jack, can't actually model the product for you, give real feedback for you? Like, creators provide so much more value than just sponsored videos.
You also have a quote here saying strategists should go touch grass, talk to real people, and actually experience culture if they want to understand culture. I love this. Can you go into more of why you said this?
I think a lot of times our industry goes into points of view that really only talk to a small segment of people and culture, like, people who are chronically online, or people who live in like coastal cities or metropolitan areas. And I think that I know that really muddles how we view what is actually happening in culture, especially in America, which is so vastly diverse in how we are experiencing the world today. Um, there was an article or an essay written by Haley Neiman, who wrote an essay called The Botox Psyop. And her whole point of view was like the pearl clutching that's happening around how women are getting tweakments and Botox and all of these procedures, she argued, is largely overstated. And she showed how only like 3, maybe 4% max of American women are getting Botox right now. Meanwhile, if you look in media, the larger conversation is like, women are getting everything done to their bodies and their self-esteem is terrible and everything is awful. And like, in a lot of ways, yes, women are in this arms race around beauty, and they're constantly having to raise the bar of like what's considered naturally beautiful. But in a lot of ways, I also wonder if that's just people being chronically, did I just do a thumbs up?
Yeah, that was sick.
Being chronic, it's like, I didn't know that was turned on. I think that in a lot of ways, that's maybe just an ecosystem of what the cultural thinker is being exposed to. And I've fallen susceptible to that.
Mm-hmm.
So go out and touch grass, go talk to real people.
Thanks, Rachel.
Bye.
Boom, Geno. Let's keep it rolling. We're moving on with the show now, Geno. Here we go. Roku City is back. Well, it never left, but Roku City is here. First brand campaign since 2021 dropped this morning. Roku, working with the ad agency Preacher, brings you into Roku City. We'll bring in Damon, who's the VP of Global Branding Creative at Roku.
At what point did you realize that everybody loves Roku City?
Everybody does love Roku City. We launched Roku City as a screensaver in 2017. But it was really a simpler version of what you see today. It was just a scroll going by with a billboard. The next year, we started adding Easter eggs and little film and TV references, wanting to keep people immersed in the TV experience while they were on our platform in between their shows. And we noticed in social, people really started responding, wanting to figure them all out, asking for more. Until 2021, it sort of went viral with people beginning to almost fantasize about going there. And basically, once they named it, by the way, we didn't name it Roku City. The fans named it Roku City. And once they named it, we knew that we had something kind of exciting going on.
My question is, first big brand campaign since 2021. Why did the team feel like right now is the time to almost like, it almost feels like the first time Roku, the brand, is addressing this Roku City?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, we've built a lot of popularity with our viewers. People love Roku, right? And I mentioned sort of like how big we are and what our scale is. We've continued to grow. We've been tracking Roku City really closely and have always wanted to do something big with it. At the same time, our brand platform, which we don't publicly talk about, is better TV for everyone. We're trying to create better TV experiences for everyone. It's based on 2 pillars. One of them is simplicity, which is why people love Roku. It's functionally simple. It's easy to use. You can find your last remote, all that stuff. The other side of the brand, though, is delight, which is creating unexpected smiles and making people feel like, they're in a TV world. And we hadn't really flexed that side of the brand. We're so focused on the function of the brand and the products. We found, like, because of the aspiration to go to Roku City and the excitement and buzz kind of growing there, we decided to combine that with this idea of delivering more delight on our platform. So it felt like exactly the right moment to bring this, to our fans and give them an opportunity to take a peek inside. We also knew if we were going to do something with Roku City that we wanted to do it right.
Yeah.
We wanted to find the right partners. Preacher totally got that, and we wanted to find, that we needed the right production value and sort of scale to make it work. We were very careful about ruining it for our fans,
Exactly.
and absolutely never want. By the way, there's no people are ever seen in Roku City. Like that's intentional because we've always wanted people to imagine themselves there, and didn't want to put a bunch of people in there because you might be like, that becomes the story as opposed to you being the story.
Yes.
And so, there are people now in Roku City. We put them there, but they're characters.
Yeah.
They're not people.
Of course. And so let's talk about that. The decision to go with Preacher. Always interested hearing these stories. What was it about Preacher and working with them that made you say they're the right partner for us?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big fan of their work. I think they have a great sense of humor. I think the work they've created has delivered like a high level of execution and craft. And those were sort of the two things that got us interested in doing an RFP with them, because we felt like we needed, if we were going to do something either with Roku City or not, that we needed something that was going to be really elevated. So when they pitched us, it was very clear that they got it. Like immediately they were like, Roku City is not a backdrop. It is the place you want to go.
In a couple months from now, what do you hope to achieve success metrics from this campaign?
This whole campaign is designed to deliver on creating personality for our platform, differentiating the Roku platform with personality, and building affinity with our viewers. We've focused so much on the functional benefits of Roku. This is really about the emotional connection and to storytelling that we want to make sure we're delivering on for our viewers. We want them to also understand the full Roku experience and all of the benefits it has. Each of the spots that are part of the 6 spots in the campaign take you to a different location in Roku City. You saw, I think, the 60-second spot, but there are, 5 additionals that take you to the pirate ship, that take you to the volcano, and each of them feature a different benefit. Many of our viewers know some of the benefits of Roku, but don't know all of them. And so we intentionally created this interactive map where you can journey through Roku City and get the full story of the Roku experience. And coming away from that, remember what's great about Roku. And ask for us by name the next time you're, getting into streaming. So that's really our goal, is to build that emotional connection and make sure people know what that full experience is they already have.
It's been a pleasure, and congrats on the launch to you, everyone, all the partners that worked on it, and excited to see all the future work that comes out of Roku City. Well, thank you all for tuning in. I hope this was worth it. And again, if you missed it, we're going to post the episode on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and we're live again next Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. Follow us at Breaking and Entering Media on Instagram, and we will see you next week. Enjoy the weekend.